The inventory you are about to take is unique both in what it looks at and how it is completed. The SDI, or Strength Deployment Inventory, is a self-discovery tool providing useful insight into the different ways we apply our strengths in our relationships, the unique way we prefer to interact with the people in our lives, at work, at home, with friends, all aspects of our lives. So to get the most useful results from your experience with the SDI, I want to give you a quick guided tour. When completing your SDI, know that there's no right or wrong answers, and it's not trying to assess whether you are doing things correctly. So it's not a test in the traditional sense, it's an inventory of the strengths you use in your relationships. You'll also be pleased to know that the SDI is only 20 questions. Actually, 20 statements, each with 3 possible endings. But you don't have to pick just one. The way it works is this. You have 10 points to distribute or allocate among the 3 different endings to show how frequently each of the endings would describe you and how you relate to others. You see, the SDI asserts that we often relate to others in one way at one time and another way at other times, depending on the circumstances. And since the SDI is looking to help you identify your core underlying motivations, it encourages you to think about yourself from a whole life perspective, how you are at work, and how you are in your personal life. Let's look at a sample item. I usually gain the most for myself by being alert to any and all opportunities, friendly and outgoing as much as possible, and very careful as to what I commit myself to. In the example, here the person feels that 7 out of 10 times they are alert to opportunities. So that option is most like them or most frequently true. They put their 3 remaining points to friendly and outgoing. This must be true for them a little less than half as much as being alert to opportunities. Notice that they entered a 0 for careful as to what I commit myself to. You can enter 0s and 10s if that feels true for you. And using a 0 doesn't necessarily mean never, it just means closer to 0 than to 1. Be sure to enter a number into each box, even if it is a 0. Chances are, you would have distributed your points differently. You might have given 4 points to careful and 3 points to each of the other endings to use all of your 10 points. Or perhaps 5, 1, 4 is more you. Basically, any combination that adds up to 10 per statement is okay, so long as it describes how each of the different endings is like you when compared with the other endings. You may find that in one item, you like all of the endings about equally, and in the next item, there's a clear preference for one. And that's okay. Just use your 10 points to compare each set of 3 endings to one another without worrying about how they relate to the previous question. The SDI is unique in another way. You will be asked to consider your whole life under 2 conditions: when things are going well for you and when you are faced with conflict and opposition. The first 10 statements are about things going well. As you consider these items, think of all the times, places, situations, and relationships where you feel best about yourself and feel good about what you are doing. Avoid considering situations or relationships where you don't feel good about yourself. Save those for the second group of questions. Statements 11 through 20 get into conflict situations. When you consider these items, change your focus to situations where you are experiencing some level of conflict or things are going wrong for you. Again, a whole life focus will give you the most useful results. The 10 conflict items work the same way. You have 10 points to distribute among the 3 different endings. Only the mindset has changed. The written instructions and the wording of the items will remind you when it's time to switch to conflict mode. That's it! Your SDI facilitator will review your SDI results with you and discuss how you may apply them. You are about to embark on a great step toward improved communication, minimized conflict, and stronger relationships in all areas of your life.